I'm Jodi Bakst, broker owner of Real Estate Experts. And today I'm going to talk to you about how you find investment properties using the MLS. Many investors think that the way that they can find the best investment properties is actually looking at off-market sources, such as going to the county and looking for foreclosures, looking for notices of default where a homeowner is defaulting on their first on a mortgage payment, which is an indication that they may be going into foreclosure, or searching for properties that have gone into probate, just to name a few sources. So many people don't realize that the statistics actually say something different. So nationally, about 83% of investment properties are found searching the MLS, and closer to home in the last year in the triangle market, 310 deals were found using the MLS, where either they had a 25% increase in value, meaning it was a fix and flip, or if you say it a different way, they actually had a purchase price with a 75% after repair value. Real Estate Experts has teamed with a very innovative company called Privy that provides an advanced algorithm to find really good investment deals inside of the MLS. Privy is in the Triangle market, and they're soon going to be in Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and Charlotte, and they're also in other markets across the country. I have asked Benson to join us today so that he can show you and demonstrate how Privy works and explain the benefits that you can get using Privy. So Benson, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Jodi. So glad I could be with you today. You're right. There is a big misconception out there that deals can only be found off market. And people are learning this from all different sources. They learn it from, the gurus, the real estate investment gurus that are out there, the guys that come through town with the circus. They teach you that you can, invest in real estate with no money out of your own pocket. And they're going to give you a flash drive with all kinds of contracts and info. And, some of that information is valuable, but they really do kind of take advantage of people and their dreams of being, entrepreneurs and real estate investors. And
right.
The pros, the guys that are doing deals every single day, realize that you need multiple sources of deal flow. And deal flow is these opportunities, right? So there are opportunities, what you would call off market. These are properties that aren't found on the MLS. And these are ones like you mentioned, foreclosures and probates and auction properties and the like. But if you are ignoring the MLS as a source for deal flow, you're making a big mistake. So you mentioned that there are opportunities on the MLS. You just need a more efficient way of finding them. And so one of those ways is using your real estate agent, and you work with real estate investors there in the Raleigh, Durham area. And, but it's a very intensive process to try to find and analyze deals. And so just for investors, you need to have a really good agent on your team. That's a key part of your success as a real estate investor, is to find what they call an investor-friendly agent. And this is an agent who understands the process of finding deals, analyzing them, looking for that after repair value, but also understanding that it's not the same as working with a buyer who's going to just buy that one property every 7 years and live in it, right? It's more of a process of submitting offers and offers that are going to get accepted, and then iterating that process. And so, if you can find that real estate agent who is investor friendly and you guys have that match, you need to really make sure you nurture that relationship properly. Otherwise, you're going to burn it out because it is a process of submitting offers and not getting accepted, submitting offers, not getting accepted, because there's competition for deals, right? Whether these are on or off market. So the Privy system was built as a solution for ourselves. Now, us here at Privy, we're also real estate agents here in Colorado, and we built the system to help us with our own clients. We were spending way too much time behind a computer trying to find and analyze deals, and that process became really cumbersome. And you could spend all your time behind a computer finding deals, analyzing, building comparative market analysis. And so what we did is we built the system for ourselves to work with our own clients. And then people got word of it, and they asked us, well, we'd like access to it too. And so we were able to convince our MLS here in Colorado, and now MLSs all across the country, that this data needs to be in the hands of real estate investors because there's mutual benefit. Agents benefit because now they can take some of the work off their table, off their desk, and they can put more of that control and get the investor more involved in the process, so they're more confident when that deal arises. They understand what a deal is, why it's a deal. They're able to run comps now on their own timeline, right? So if an investor wants to analyze deals at 12 o'clock midnight or on a Saturday or Sunday night, they shouldn't have to rely on an agent, and an agent shouldn't have to do all of that work on their own. So it becomes a more balanced relationship. It actually helps to nurture it, so it's more of a long-term deal where it's mutually beneficial. So the Privy system was built to support both real estate investors and agents, so they can work better as a team to find these deals and get an offer put together that is going to be a winning offer, not just lowball offers that are going to get rejected.
Yeah. So can you show us how it works?
Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, and we're going to start off in the Raleigh-Durham area. So we're brand new to your market. So if you're just learning about Privy now, you're on the front edge of this opportunity. So if you wanted to, to check out how we actually do things, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. And I'm going to be able to show you kind of how it works. So one of the things that Jodi mentioned is that there has been over 300 fix and flips that were purchased at a maximum of 75% of the after repair value in your market. And the way that we found that out was by using our algorithms to analyze this real-time data that we've got coming from your local MLS. So let me show you how this works. So I'm going to use one of our smart searches, and I am going to look for deals that were done in the last 12 months that were purchased at a maximum of 75% of the after repair value, and look for single family properties, and again, in the last 12 months. Now I'm going to sort these by sold date, so we're going to see some of the most recent properties that were done first. So we'll go ahead and run this analysis. Now, we're analyzing tens of thousands of data points and transactions, and so it takes a minute to develop. But once you see this, we're actually going to be able to plot on the map exactly where all these deals were completed and show you visually what this looks like. So let me go ahead and zoom in here on this map, and I'll be able to show you there in your market there in Raleigh-Durham what's going on. Now it looks like a big blob, right? But each one of these little icons right here is a deal that was actually completed in your local market. And as you can see, there's 302 deals in the last 12 months that was better than 75%, which means there was an increase of 25% or more. Now, there's clusters of these deals. Now, what's very important about this is that when an investor is going out to look for deals, oftentimes there's no strategy behind how they are looking for deals. They're just kind of looking in an area that it's convenient for them, maybe in their backyard or an area that they feel comfortable with. But what we like to say is let's switch our mindset, let's switch our paradigm and start to do real estate investing with a more of a strategy. And a strategy that we ask people to employ is to actually go where other investors are doing business, because whenever you're trying to determine your after repair value as an investor, the best way to do that is to compare your property to other properties that have been repaired. And it seems kind of like, well, duh, of course you do. But it's not a practice that a lot of real estate investors put in place. So like right here in Durham, that you can see there's quite a bit of investor activity. And we actually have the ability to dig in and look at these transactions by just go ahead and clicking one of them. And I'm going to open up this property here in this report that we've built automatically. It's called a live comparative market analysis. The data actually updates live. And agents sometimes spend hours building these CMAs because you have to you put all the comparables in there, and you have to upload photos, and it takes some time. But our algorithm actually comps out every property that's opened up in this live CMA automatically, using kind of the conventional type things that an appraiser or an agent would use to pull comps. So what's so cool about this is now that because we're looking at this property, we can see the before and after data on it. So this is what the house looked like before the renovation. It's pretty rough. It looks like they already started to do some of the demo, and they're doing some of the build out. And here's the after. So look how amazing this house is. Oh yeah, they staged it, right? This is a property that they wanted to make sure looked good for their But they bought this house for $88,000. They sold it for $290,000. So they had a $201,000 gross profit. Now, when we did the search, we looked for properties that were purchased between 0 and 75% of ARV. This is actually much better. This property is way better than 50% of the ARV. And these are the kinds of opportunities that you can find on the MLS if you use investor-friendly agents like Jodi. This process, now we also track timelines. So this property was under construction for 229 days, 38 days on market. They priced it perfectly for a total hold time of 267. So think how valuable that information is to have at your fingertips, to be able to see how long the construction is taking, the days on market. Whenever you're putting together an offer, you have to put an estimation of what your carrying costs are going to be. Mm-hmm. And if you are newer, or if you're not really experienced in doing that, the best way to do that is to look what other investors in the market are actually doing. And so this one, at 229 days under construction might be a little long, but 30 days on market is perfect, right? So this is just one example. Let's take a look at another one here. So this one's on Weldon Terrace, and they sold it for $174,000. So I'm going to scroll down here below the CMA, and we're going to look at the before and after again. And here's the property before the renovation. So the house is not in horrible shape. It's just a house that's been heavily lived in, right? It's not falling in on itself. It needs some exterior work. The roof probably needs to be replaced. And here it is after. Yeah. So they gave it a bright new, paint job on the exterior, new flooring.
Almost $100,000 increase in value.
Absolutely. Right. And so when you bought it at $75,000, again, this is a property that is better than 50% of the after repair value. Now, I know a lot of investors out there are struggling to find deals, and looking for off-market opportunities is certainly a place that you might want to spend some time and some resources. But it's always a challenge, right? Even if you can find a property that looks like it needs work, and it's in foreclosure, maybe it's a distressed situation. The next thing you have to do is you have to find the homeowner, right? Okay, that's a problem in itself. People use skip tracing and other data sources to try to find the seller, and then you got to convince the seller, or the homeowner, to sell the property, right? That's another obstacle you have to overcome. And then they say, sure, I'll sell it, and then you have to convince them to sell it for a price that makes sense for you to make money. So there's all these obstacles along the way that you have to go through when you're doing off market. When you're buying properties from the MLS, you got a motivated seller. You know exactly where to find them. You know exactly what they're going to sell the property to you for. Now you just have to make sure the numbers work, right? So these people right here were able to do that and get these properties better than 50% of the ARV. So strategy, right? Employ a tactic of bringing in additional deal flow from properties from the MLS. And our system right here will actually do that for you. So let's go ahead and flip the switch here. We know that deals are getting done here in the Raleigh-Durham. There's over 300 that we've been able to identify in just the last 12 months in these two cities. Now, think about what this looks like nationwide. So what we suggest is that investors put a strategy in place to find deals from multiple deal sources, right? So you constantly have deals coming across your desk. I've heard numbers before, and there's no exact numbers when it comes to the number of offers you have to put out there. But I hear from investors all across the country that it takes between 30 and 40 offers you have to submit to get one accepted. So unless you've got a sufficient amount of deal flow, it's going to be very difficult for you to find that deal, right? So you need to get offers out the door pretty consistently. So, go after those off-market deals if you'd like, but we can provide you a very consistent amount of deal flow from stuff right off the MLS. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this up a bit, and I'm actually going to switch from sold properties to active, and we're going to look for properties that we can buy right now. Okay, so I'm going to search using the same algorithm that we used to actually go out and find the sold properties, but I'm going to uncheck sold and click active, and I want to look for properties that you can buy, and I'm going to use a ceiling of $250,000. All right, so go ahead and do this. Now I'm actually going to switch this and look for a little bit better than 75%. I'm going to look for properties better than 70% of the ARV, and I'm going to go ahead and run this search. Now, again, what's happening right now is our system is going and it's pulling comps on every single property in the MLS in seconds rather than the amount of time it took for us to do it manually. So here's a couple of the properties that it found. And again, our system went out and it ran comps on all these using our algorithms. So let's take a look at a couple of these. So this is a property that went on the market recently, actually today. It's for sale for $211,000. It's on Marlborough Road. And we flagged this property as a deal because our algorithm first went out and pulled comps. So these are all the comparables in the area. We're looking for properties that are similar square footage, same number of stories. It has to be within 1 mile of the subject property, same property type. So we're looking at the major property characteristics, right? Same as what an appraiser or an agent would use. Now we flagged this property as a deal because the algorithm is looking for comps that would make this better than 70% of the ARV. And we've got comps in the area that range from 309 all the way up to $365,000. And because I chose an area that has investor activity in it, I've got 2 properties that were recently fixed and flipped that I can actually look at as blueprints for what I can do with this property on Marlborough Road. So let's take a look at one of these. So if I open up the live CMA for this comparable, I can actually get in and see exactly what they did to it. So if you're newer or you need examples or ideas of what other investors in this market are doing, here's your blueprint, right? So they went in and they put all new cabinets. They've got this really interesting backsplash, and they got granite countertops, new flooring, made it nice and bright, right? This is what is working for the neighborhood, right? So use this as a blueprint. You can see the before and after on this. Here's what the property looked like before the renovation. Here's after, right? The point of Privy is to simplify the process for you, so you don't have to have all those decisions. You don't have to make all those on yourself, by yourself. So
actually, what's interesting about that property is it doesn't look so bad the way it is. So it doesn't look like it needs that much updating. Not this one, the active one.
Oh, right. So the one on Marlborough, right. So this is available for $211,000. So it's not going to be a huge amount of input, but look at the cabinets are all original. It's not in horrible shape. It just hasn't been updated over the years. It looks like it's got hardwood floors that you can salvage and maybe just refit. Maybe do something to the lot to make it a little bit more interesting. But these 2 homes are very much the same. And so if we look at that property that is at 309 or 365, this is definitely a property you would want to go look at. So they're easily shareable using our sharing tools. You can save it. You can share this with your entire team so you can get everybody on the same page. But if anybody's taking notes, this is 1308 Marlborough Road for sale for $211,000. It went on the market today. This is a property that would show up in your inbox as long as you leverage our automation and our algorithms. All you have to do is just save this search, and the system will automatically go out and monitor the market for you and only send you an email when it finds properties that match your specific deal criteria. So if you're a busy investor or you're just getting started in investing, leverage the system to be like your virtual assistant, which is constantly monitoring the market for you and sending you opportunities. Let's take a look at another deal. This property is at 2111 Lafayette Street for sale for $264,000. This one needs a little bit more work than the last one, right? Jodi, you made a good point that the last one didn't need a lot of work. But this property right here is available for you to buy. And we flagged it as a deal because there is these comps here that range, and it's saying that this is a house that you should go buy, right? We also have this handy street view where you can go and you can virtually drive the neighborhood. So in case this thing's across the street from, a cement factory or a church or a school, you can avoid maybe driving all the way out there and just make a decision right from your desktop. So this is, we actually, people have told us that we gamify real estate investing, right? Making it like a game. You can invest right from your desk. It's really fun and cool. So this one is a 2111 Lafayette Street in Durham. Really cool. So we've got all kinds of potential opportunities here. Here's another one. This is 2315 Derby Drive in Raleigh for sale for $195,000. Let's take a look at the comps on this one here in a moment. But as you can see, Jodi, like this is a way for real estate agents to help their investors find deals more on a more automated process. They don't have to spend all their time behind a computer. And also for investors, right, you're getting access to this real-time MLS data, so you can analyze and get deals not just from the MLS, but also be able to analyze your deal flow on your off-market deals. So this one has comps that range from 280 all the way up to 365,000. And there's a property that was recently fixed and flipped in the neighborhood. They purchased for 170, sold it for 365. So amazing.
The other
right?
thing that's really nice about your system is that there's more work to be done. It's not just finding the property. There's more analysis to be done and more numbers to be run to make sure that, you know, from the repairs that or upgrades that you're going to need to make, and if you're going to get a loan or not get a loan. Right. And those tools are in the system to allow you, or connected to the system that allow you to do
Absolutely.
financial analysis. So that's the other piece of Privy is brought to the table.
Absolutely. You know, we're a service provider, we're a software provider, but we're also a real estate company. So this is a relationship-based business, and so we've built a lot of training and support, and we've got other deal analysis tools to help you take a property or lead that you find all the way to, you know, closing it, and then getting, you know, putting the numbers together for construction, and then, you know, obviously putting that property out there once you finalize it and doing the comps to decide, you know, what will you actually sell that thing for. So up here in the upper left-hand corner is our search bar. You can, if you have an off-market opportunity that you wanted to run comps on, you just enter the address right here, and you can use our comping algorithm to run the comparables. If you have a wholesaler who sends you a deal, you just enter the address and our system will run comps for you automatically. So we're going to deliver you on-market opportunities, and you can run your analysis and do real-time comp analysis and ARV analysis using this real-time MLS data. So it's a really powerful tool. And, you know, Jodi mentioned that, you know, we're here in the Raleigh-Durham area. We're launching in Charlotte and also in Greensboro here within the next couple months. But if you wanted to invest in, say, the Mid-Atlantic region. So I also launched the Privy app here, and this is called Bright MLS. It's one of the largest MLSs in the country, and it covers Maryland, DC, parts of Northern Virginia, Southern Pennsylvania, also Delaware, and West Virginia. It's a really huge area, but if you had any interest in investing north of where you're currently located, we can give you access to Privy here, and it works the same way no matter where you're at. The only difference is the data inputs. So
if you're an investor or a realtor and you want to connect with Benson at Privy, his phone number is 844-438-7748. Go to their website at getprivynow.com, getprivynow.com, or email benson@teamprivy.com.
Right.
And you are always welcome to contact us at Real Estate Experts. We're more than happy to help get you started. And thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.